If your algorithm looks anything like mine, I'm sure you've been getting a lot of the suggestions about the winter arc and how there's 3 months left in the year and we gotta lock in. As a girl who has goals, I'm like, yes, let's lock in. As a neurodivergent, I'm like, the way that you guys are doing it, that's not gonna work for me. And I refuse to set myself up for failure. So let's talk about how we can lock in for the last 3 months of 2025 in a neurodivergent friendly way. All right, let's get comfy, because I don't feel like this is gonna be a long video necessarily, but I feel like there's a lot of information to share on how we can lock in for the last 90 days or so of 2025 without being stressed the fuck out. If you're neurodivergent or struggle with consistency, I feel like there'll be a lot of relatable information that I will be handing over to you in this video. Because I'm sure goal setting's never been the issue. It's never been an issue to know what you want or how to get there, the steps that you need to take, the scheduling it out, the planning is not the issue. It's the execution and the consistency. Because I can show up for a week, 2, 3, but if you want me to show up for 3 months consistently, it's going to be a challenge. And I've been actively working with my therapist on different ways that I can show up consistently while also honoring my neurodivergent needs. One of the ways my therapist has suggested that I can work towards a goal while also honoring my neurodivergent needs is by having 4 different routines for myself or 4 different task lists for myself, depending on my energy that day, how many spoons I have at the beginning of the day. So these 4 different routines are really centered around how I feel that day. And my therapist kind of helped me to break it down as like the bare minimum at the beginning, right? So it's like if I have like nothing, and usually this might be like the 2nd day of my period where I have nothing. So we're just gonna do the essentials, right? And obviously the essentials are different for everybody, because if you have kids, don't have kids, you have pets, don't have pets, what are your responsibilities? And once you can look at what your responsibilities are in the day, you can then make a list of things that you have to do. So for me, that's journaling. I like to do that regardless, because I feel like it's like therapeutic for my brain to just like dump everything out of my brain and onto a piece of paper before I start my day. Also, I'm in the process of reading The Artist's Way, which we'll get into in another video. Journaling, brushing my teeth, making and eating breakfast. If I have to bring my daughter to school that morning, every morning I gotta walk my dogs. I gotta feed my dogs. I gotta make my bed. And then I only answer important/urgent emails and texts on a very bare minimum day. In the midday, I gotta make my lunch, do something guilt-free like rest or a favorite TV show, or even nap, which I'm learning to allow myself to do that in a guilt-free way. In my afternoons, if I have to pick up my daughter from school, heat up dinner, because we'll get into why or how I can just heat up dinner on those days, or make a very easy dinner. And then I gotta walk my dogs in the evening, shower, and then do something light, like watch a light/feel-good show or movie before bed. Now on a low energy day, so we're gonna have everything that's on the like bare minimum survival day, but we're gonna add in some movement, so some yoga or meditation. In my afternoon, it's looking the same. The whole day's kind of looking the same, but we're adding in movement on this day. On my medium energy day, again, we're just like building off of what we had before from the essentials, but we're adding on to like make my bed, vacuum my room, empty the dishwasher. We're still doing like the movement. I'm also incorporating some things that I need to do to grow my audience, which is engage on social media, and edit or film 1 video, because at least doing 1 is some sort of progress. And usually by the end of doing 1 video, if it's a short form video like a TikTok or a reel, or if it's a long form video for YouTube, I usually get this rush of dopamine and I feel so good about it after. So I really try to incorporate that. And then I answer my emails, something that's not just an urgent email. And then I'll schedule my posts for all platforms for as many days ahead as I can, because I have some more energy on this day. And then, you know, my afternoon, it's the same. You know, I try to keep it very consistent in the afternoon, because that's usually where my energy dips. Now on a high energy day, we're doing something a little bit more high impact for our workout. We're not just doing our yoga or meditation. We are doing some sort of weightlifting, a run, something that's going to be cardio, something that's going to get my heart rate up. We're going to do our errands on this day. We're going to meal prep on this day. So today was a high energy day. And so was yesterday, to be completely honest. And, you know, we cleaned our garage yesterday. Today, I did some housekeeping in the house. I folded laundry. I made enough pasta sauce, like for two dinners. And so on a day like this, like, yeah, I went to the grocery store. I had more energy today. On a high energy day, I'm also going to use my energy in a way that's going to honor me by just doing something very lighthearted at the end of the night. And tonight, I think I'm gonna watch Twilight because, I mean, I told myself if I can get all my filming done by 9 p.m., your girl's gonna watch Twilight. And I'm gonna do it. And then also, like, on a day like today, yeah, we'll do like laundry, and I'm gonna prep my clothes for the week. I'm gonna pick out my clothes for the week. You wanna know why? Because when I pick out my clothes, it eliminates a task in the morning that can just like take away like 3 spoons right off the bat. Because what the hell do I wear today? What do I wear? And because this is like an iffy time of year where it might be cold, it might be hot, I'm gonna have options. I'm gonna have options for my days that are a little bit chillier, options for my days that are a little bit warmer, options for my days that are somewhere on the in-between. Because I know that by choosing my outfits now, I'm removing a task for myself later on a day where maybe I don't have enough mental space or emotional space to have an extra task. And I know for some people, picking out an outfit might not seem like a big task, but shit, some days it is for me. And on the days where I want to look put together, I want to look put together. I want to have the outfit already prepped and know that like I'm going to put myself together this day and this outfit is picked already and I know what it's going to look like and I'm excited for it, okay? When you look good, you feel good. And when you plan your outfits, you feel even better. Because you know what you're going to wear and you know what days you're going to look good and feel good on. So that goes through my 4x4 routine that I came up with my therapist. Another way that really helps me as a neurodivergent person to goal set and stay focused and stay committed to it is to do a lot of visualization. So when I set a goal, I like to think about, okay, what does it look like in the day of the life of somebody who has achieved this? And so maybe it's like right now, one of my goals is weight loss because I gained a little bit of weight, and it's not necessarily weight loss, but more so like to feel better in my body. And for someone who feels better in their body, what does that look like? What does the routine look like? It looks like incorporating more workouts. It looks like having more high energy days. How do I get those high energy days? Well, that means I have to honor myself on my rest days and allow myself to rest, which has always been an issue in the past. And when you don't rest, you can't recharge. And if you're not charged up, how are you gonna have a high energy day? Exactly. It's all a cycle, baby. We gotta hit those different spots in the cycle to come back around. And if I need that high energy day, that means that when I'm down here on my low energy day, I'm gonna need to rest and recover and allow myself the space to do that outside of my responsibilities. And so being very realistic with what a day in the life of this person would look like on a high energy day. What would a day in the life of this person look like on a low energy day? What would a day in the life of this person look like if it's chaotic and things are coming up? Somehow in my mind that helps me to prepare to be like, okay, if chaos happens, I can have an off day. Maybe I don't have any movement incorporated in that day, but I'm still doing the things that I need to do to be able to incorporate movement the next day. Write down, what does this person eat? How do they wake up in the morning? What is their energy like? Just walk through every moment of the day and write it down, put it on paper. I'm a firm believer that when you put that pen to paper, you are doing something that's telling the universe that like, hey, this is gonna happen. This is more concrete. I feel like, yes, you could type it out if that's your preference as well, but I think even if you type it out, you need to read it back to yourself. Read it out loud to yourself, and do that more than one time. So it's just like you're speaking it out into existence, right? And even with writing it, read it to yourself again. And it just makes it more solidified. It puts it in our mind that like, this is really what I'm working towards, and this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to get because I deserve it. And you need to understand that you deserve it. That's a big thing, is understanding that you deserve it. Through my burnout earlier this year, I really felt to victimhood. And I think that took a lot of my power away because I was like, damn, I'm so burnt out. I've never felt this shitty before. I've never felt this exhausted. I've never felt this like mentally foggy. I really was like, well, this is just what it is. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I think that I should have allowed myself to have the rest when I needed it. And maybe not victimized myself so much in the process. Like, just understood that I was human, but I wasn't a victim. I still have choices. And when I choose to honor myself and to honor the way that my brain works and needs to rest and recharge, I'm then able to have a better experience and get back up so much quicker. And, you know, like what Cardi B said, get knocked down 9 times, but get up 10. So I'm gonna get up every time. I think that with having your winter arc, or like really locking in for these next 90 days, it's all about being real with yourself, being real with what you can commit to. Every time you set an unrealistic goal for yourself and you don't achieve it, you are telling yourself that you can't trust yourself. You're reinforcing the inner critic that's already in your mind. So if you set realistic goals for yourself, even something so small as like tonight, I said, okay, if I can get done filming by 9 o'clock, I can watch Twilight. I'm gonna do it. It's achievable, but it's reinforcing the trust in myself to be able to commit to something, to be able to do it. I think that oftentimes we see a lot of videos from different creators on here who maybe don't experience life in the way that we do. And so it's really easy to be like, oh, I want this life. I want the life that they have. I want to be able to do and commit to this in the way that they do, which I think is beautiful if you can. But if you can't, please, please, please be gentle with yourself and know that like, it's not from a lack of desire or motivation to commit to it and get it done. It's simply just the systems that they have in place for themselves just don't work for you. And now that I've realized that, I genuinely believe that I'm going to be able to achieve the goals that I have for myself by utilizing systems that actually freaking work for me. Because what was I doing utilizing systems that don't? But I think that's a really big thing, is understanding the systems that you need for your brain. And even like maybe something I'm saying in here will stick for you, and maybe none of it will, because you're your own person. And even with being neurodivergent, it's not a one size fits all. Like for me, this 4x4 method absolutely works. I went into Canva and I made this like visual for myself to be able to like have it on my phone, and then I have it printed off beside my bed and I can access it. And I wake up in the morning and I see it and I'm like, okay, this is what I need to work through. And then I have it on my phone, and then I just edit it as I'm going through my day and just like mark it up, you know, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Because then it has that visual for me that like the things that I need to do versus what I've already done. And it's a dopamine hit, and that works for me. But maybe that doesn't work for you. Maybe you just need like a schedule that is your schedule, no matter the day. And like just having that consistency regardless of like where you're at. And maybe you can push through and drive, but also don't burn yourself out. I think like that's something that we can all do way too easily and way too well. Just remember to honor yourself. And like even habit stacking really works for me. Like something as simple as getting up in the morning, using the washroom, which is inevitable. And then I brush my teeth right away so that I don't forget to brush my teeth until later on in the day. And I'm like, oh my God, did I brush my teeth? You know, like, girl, you need to get up, use the washroom, brush your teeth, get dressed. You know, that's the sequence that I move in. When I get out the shower, I immediately put on my deodorant so I don't have to question myself on if I did or didn't put on deodorant later. You know, it's get out the shower, dry off my skin, put on deodorant, lotion my body, you know? So when you set up these systems of these sequences that you do things, or the habit stacking to be able to complete a routine, maybe it's your nighttime routine or your morning routine or your midday routine, when you stack them together, it's like these visual and physical cues, which work so well for us. Maybe it's having a list up of the things that you need to do, you know, in the different spaces that you do them in, as a reminder. Whatever it is for you, honor that, because watching somebody's video and being like, I'm going to commit to exactly this may not actually work for you. You know, there may be bits and pieces of it that may work, and that's where trial and error comes in, right? Some people can just take what's there, take the blueprint and run with it. But sometimes you have to make modifications to the blueprint because there's pieces and components that just weren't fitting into your routine and the way you need to honor yourself. Always remember to honor yourself. I think that's a very important takeaway, is that even while working towards a goal, even while doing this end of 2025 lock in, your winter arc, whatever you want to call it, honor yourself, because you need to water yourself in order for you to grow, which means you need to honor yourself and your needs. You could be a snake plant, okay? You could be an aloe, you could be a cactus, you could be all these different plants, you could be a monstera, okay? They all need different watering schedules, and you have different needs from me, from the other person, from somebody else you watch. We all have different needs. So I'm gonna need you to honor yourself. Okay, friend? If you can honor yourself, I promise you that simple act of honoring yourself will make the world of a difference. So I wanna see you win. I wanna see you do good. I wanna see you achieve your goals. Let's hold each other accountable. Okay, accountability partner. Get in them comments and tell me, what are your goals for the end of this year? Is it just honoring yourself more creatively? Is it working towards a fitness goal? Is it a career goal, a monetary goal? What is your goal for the end of this year? And maybe we can lock in together and share some neurodivergent hacks in the comments. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to honor yourself, okay?